doing?
Come on, Tapes. I'm just taking out the trash and the recycle. I just called you trash, by the way.
I didn't even realise.
Yeah.
I was too focused.
Yesterday, guys, we got something, like a little prop to use within this video at Officeworks. So I'm pretty excited for this segment of the video, so just stay tuned.
Wait. Ready? Do the sound again.
Stay tuned. Okay, so I'm someone who I'm super visual, and when I'm trying to learn or trying to indent something in my head, I love to draw, whether it's on a journal, whether it's on just a piece of paper. But today I thought I would do this on a whiteboard so you guys can follow on. So the next scene segment that I'm talking about is plan and prioritize. So that's the next step that we're going to be doing. So with this one, you guys can actually follow on with downloadable sheets that I have created. So I'll just leave a link in the description below, and you can fill them out. You can do whatever you want with them. You can print them. You can try to do them online, completely up to you. With plan and prioritize, if you are still not clear with what type of goals that you are wanting to achieve, I personally go off, like I said before, my weaknesses. So areas that I want to improve on. And then I also kind of create a balance of goals. So for example, right, my balance of goals, I don't like that. I want to do it bigger. Hashtag perfectionist. Sorry. I got some big goals, so we need a big pie. So I'm going to split this section into 4. So I'm going to have everything to do with like my health and fitness goals. Over here, I'm going to have my relationship goals. So whether it's with my parents, my siblings, my friends. And with my goals, I do love to be specific, because anyone can say, I want to be healthier. Anyone can say, I want to be fitter, or I want a better relationship with my friends. Be specific in what you're actually struggling with. So for me, I've been struggling with getting enough water in, or getting enough rest in within my week. So being specific and shedding clarity on what you're struggling with and what you do want to improve on. With my relationships, I get very frustrated and stressed at my loved ones. So it'd be, one of my goals is to just accept my loved ones and really just go with the flow. Become more aware of what you as an individual needs to achieve. Career studies. So if you are studying, or if you're at uni and you have goals within your uni or something that you are wanting to study for 2020, pop that in. And then the last one, personal development goals. So personal goals within yourself. So these ones are, like the personal development ones are always my favorite to focus on. And I'll explain later why. So with my kind of like pie graph in the balance of my goals, the reason why you want a balance of goals is because you don't want any area to lack. Because that again, it comes down to the state of flow, which I'll talk about later on. But basically you want to, if you have a goal within business, if you want to make a lot of money, or you want to get into it like a different career, if you aren't in a flow and flourishing at your best state of mind, so if you haven't really focused on your health, or you haven't really focused on anything to do with personal development, you're actually probably not going to be able to achieve that goal as sooner or as efficient as you would be if you did focus on these areas. So it's kind of like, in order to really get to the goal that you're wanting to get to, rather than just thinking from A to Z, you kind of need to make sure that you have a balanced amount of focus on things that are going to benefit you and your life. So that actually comes down to another graph that we will be making. And this graph, again, you can download it. This is the plan to flowchart, and this is actually what you'll be able to download. So the plan to flowchart is basically becoming aware of the fundamentals of what really puts you in that flow state of mind. Okay, so giving you guys an example, for me, every single day I love to meditate, so focus on things that are going to reduce my stress. That is like one of my number one things in order to make me feel good. So like I said, if you are struggling with finding more goals, become aware of your weaknesses. So for me, my weakness is my stress. So I'm going to probably put that in my relationships because I get stressed with my loved ones, and my personal development. So my personal development goal within myself this year is actually to reduce my stress. And then along the lines of that, accept my loved ones. So what I mean by that is accept their downfalls. Because my perception on someone's downfalls, it doesn't mean it's their downfalls. It's usually just your perception on them. And that's something that has been a huge turning point for me, is realizing that just because someone isn't acting the way that you want them to act doesn't mean it's wrong. It's just your perception on it. So you're the only person that is causing that stress, not them. So I talk about this quite a fair bit on my Instagram, about people not actually being energy suckers. It's the thoughts that you think about them that are actually draining you. So when you're like, oh, this person is so draining, it's not really the case. It's the thoughts that you're thinking about them. So that's something that has been a huge turning point for me, and it's again something I do want to improve on within 2020. Career, I have a few within my career, so I am wanting to grow my C team. I want to, like you guys seen on my vision board, make some apps. I want to grow my website. Obviously I'm just doing like really quick, but if you guys are writing this, be a bit more in detail, but I'm just going quick just for the sake of this video. So grow my C team, apps, website, yeah, definitely grow my channels, I guess. Yeah, so these were again on my vision board. Health and fitness, I actually want to gain 5 kilos of muscle. I want to be able to squat 80 kilos. Like I said, I actually genuinely want to find like a man. I want to find someone who I truly connect with. Like for me and relationships, I'm super picky, and if anything, I feel like that is a good thing. My mum has indented that in my head at early stages of my life. You know, if they're not perfect, if they're not treating you like a princess, if you can't have conversations with them for hours, don't settle. So for me, I want to connect, like genuinely connect with a guy. So connect with a guy. Another one actually with my personal development goals is reduce my stress. I am wanting to, like, what that looks like for me is meditating on like a weekly basis. I've been really good with that. And also like prioritizing recovery. So that's something I haven't really, oh my god, prioritize. I keep forgetting how to spell it, guys. It's so bad. Okay, prioritize recovery. I'm someone who I love to train, and for my goals, I really need to like prioritize recovery, whether that is stretching more, days off, like 2 to 3 days off a week, doing things that are going to like aid my recovery, and I'm someone where that definitely lacks. Another thing is becoming more conscious of the environment, and I'm someone who I recycle. I don't use plastic bags, you know. I will have my keep cup, but I want to get like even better, because I am just being completely real with you guys. I am someone who I do actually like not support it, but I do shop with fast fashion, you know, all the big brands online, because it's easy, it is cheap. And I'm not saying I'm going to stop that completely, because it's something that I do enjoy doing. I do love cheap clothes, I do love fashion, but I'm going to be more conscious of it and putting more of an effort to supporting more like conscious businesses and eco-friendly businesses. So something that I do actually want to share is these shoes that I am wearing. These are cool as. So these sneakers are from All My Eco, which is a completely conscious and eco-friendly brand. So all these shoes and everything that they're selling are made with sustainable materials. So like recycled plastic bottles, pineapple fiber, and cork. So yes, everything is fully vegan, and they're just trying to make a difference in this world, and that's what I'm wanting to do. I'm wanting to like buy things and support brands that are trying to make a difference and that are just aware of it. So like I said, everything is made from, like, all their shoes and everything is made from recyclable like materials from the environment. And something else that I found was really cool is with this brand, something that we're not that aware of, is in third world countries, they're paid like the minimal wage to produce shoes, the stuff that we're wearing, like that we're wearing on a daily basis, and like our furniture and everything. So with All My Eco, everything is made in Spain, and they're respecting workers' rights by making sure that their workers have insurance, they're paying them a good wage. And I feel like that is something that we really do need to be conscious of and supporting when we are looking at brands to support and to like buy from. So if you are interested, after the 30th, they're actually having their launch, so they're having huge sales. So I will leave everything in the description below as per usual, so links and everything like that, and I'll also leave what shoes that I got, sizing, etc. So moving on, so when you're filling out your plan to flowchart, the reason why that is so important is because this is something that I go off not only like in a year spectrum, but I also go off kind of like daily. So for me, down the bottom, I have filled out kind of like the fundamentals of things that I need to work on every single day in order to feel my best and be in my flow state, okay? So the reason why getting in a flow state is so important, because I'm someone who I'm a true believer in manifestation. And if you don't know what that is, I will actually leave some articles and some links in the description below. But basically, manifestation is when you put certain energy out where you really want something. So like, you know how we've created our vision boards and everything like that. The reason why you visualize and you envision what you want is so you can truly manifest it. So when you know what you want and you give, you know, the universe clarity, you're more inclined to make them decisions and, you know, have them conversations and connections to get closer to that goal. That's why clarity, visualization, and manifestation are just so important, because it gets you in that flow state. So the things that I do every single day, so I'm someone who I'm just like, I like just sitting in a room doing this and thinking good thoughts. Like, I don't know about you, but I don't believe that's going to get you what you want. And a lot of people think that's what manifesting is. They think they're just going to sit in a room and they're going to, you know, and think they're going to get a bloody car or they're going to get the house that they want. That is not the case. That's not how manifesting works. Our camera died. But yeah, with manifestation, it's basically what it's going to do. It's going to help put you in the positions and have the conversations that are going to get you closer to your goal and closer to what you want to manifest. So yeah, don't think you can sit in a room and have good thoughts and it's all going to work for you. I wish. So what you are wanting to do is get yourself in that flow state so you can have them better thoughts. You are clearer. You have a clearer mind, and you are clear with what you want as well. So things that I do and focus on a daily basis, it's kind of like I'll categorize what is more important and what I need to prioritize. So everyone is going to look completely different. So this is my chart, and down here every single day, for me to feel my best, I need to be making sure, like, you know, my environment is like clean, my environment is you know, spacious, it smells good. That's something that just really impacts me, is my environment, and I'm aware of that. You know, rather than working against that, I actually work with that. So I'm aware of that, so that's going on my number one, because it really is, that impacts me so much, and it impacts how I feel and how I work and how I think. My gut, that is something that is really important to me, because when I was suffering really badly with IBS, it was not only impacting my mental health, but it was impacting my anxiety, my depression, my well-being, my relationship with my friends, and I also just wasn't thinking at my most optimal self. So my gut is something that's so important, so that's something that I prioritize. It's the best it's ever been, and it's because I did prioritize it. So I continue to just do and make the habits and the steps that I know work with my gut. My well-being, so that includes things like meditating, going to the beach when I feel stressed, doing certain things that really make me feel good, and again, relieving stress. So going for my runs, going to the gym. So that also includes like my morning routine. So with this, you want to be kind of specific in what that feels like for you. And then next is my fitness, my diet, and work. So there are other things that I focus on every single day in order to feel my best. So I know when I'm at like my creative state, I'm focusing on all these things. And then next I have my hobbies and relationships. So I'm not saying that these are less important at all, but I'm just saying that once I have these down packed, I feel better to then put more energy towards these. Does that make sense? So it's not like this is any less than this. For me though, I know when I am focusing all of these things on a daily basis, all of these are going to get better. So my relationship, my career, my finances, my fitness, everything. So, you know, if you have an end result, for example, you want to eat healthier, rather than just purely focusing on eat healthier, focus on like the fundamentals of your life. You know, what's your stress like? What are your habits like on a daily basis? What's your morning routine like? Focus on the bigger picture. And that's what this chart is all about, is getting you to become aware of the fundamentals of your life and your well-being and your goals, so then you can get yourself in that flow state. So when I'm focusing on all of these things, I'm able to get to this flow state, and that's when I'm more inclined to then work towards my goals and achieve them and feel good. So this is what's going to help you not only start, plan, and prioritize. So this is all about planning and prioritizing your goals. Then I just need to become aware of these goals, so my visions and my goals, what are in line with these. and then you go off that with what you're going to kind of prioritize and put first. And another thing that another goals that I do like to put first, especially when you're looking at the year spectrum, I like to put the ones first that are the scariest and the hardest. The goals that are the scariest, they're usually the biggest ones and the ones that are going to make the most impact, because it's what challenges the most, that where more of the growth is going to come from. So if you find that you have a few goals that you want to achieve and there is some, frightening ones that cause you a bit of stress and anxiety, put them first. If you can, and if it's not out of reach, put them first. And once they're over and done with, everything else will seem like a breeze. So that's kind of like a little hack and a trick when you are doing your goals, because if you're going to chip away at all the little ones, you might feel like, okay, cool, now the big ones won't need to be achieved. But I promise you, if you have big scary goals, whether they are moving out of home or starting a new job, quitting the current job that you're at and starting a new one, they're really big, they're really scary, but they're going to change everything for you. It's the big ones that are going to make the most impact. So maybe prioritizing them first. Okay, so now I'm going to kind of like simplify flow state and kind of give you a better description on what that is for me and what that can look like for you. So when, like a flow state, really, it's when everything kind of works well. Just say you wake up one day and you hit your toe at the side of the bed. And then everything from there goes downhill. You spill your coffee, something happens at work, you have an argument with your mom, like everything just feels like it's going downhill. And it's because you're at the opposite end of the flow state. So you're at the opposite end of the spectrum, and that's really, you're feeling crap, negative thoughts, low frequency. But when you're in this flow state, it's kind of like everything in your life has been balanced out, and you're putting an equal amount of balance and focus on everything. So your diet's going well, your mental state's going well, your relationships are going well, your business, your finances. You're in this state of mind where everything just feels at ease. So I can give you guys kind of like an example that you could relate to. If you've ever gone like for uni and you have to finish an assessment, and sometimes you do this assessment and your mind's really foggy, but other times you do this assessment and you have to write a few paragraphs, you're really just going at it. Everything is in the flow. It's because maybe you have prioritized things before that have put your mindset in that state of flow. So maybe you've got like really good sleep the night beforehand, you've hydrated, you went to the gym, you've had good conversations, then you could re-enter that assessment with a different state of mind, and then everything just flowed. So that's what you can do in life. In hobbies, in conversations, in meetings, you can put yourself in a state of flow purely from what you're doing before that and what the fundamentals of your life looks like, like the important things that I was showing you guys before. When I have focused on all of these things that I know put myself in a state of flow, everything else just falls into place. So I hope that did make sense. If you have any more questions or anything about like your flow state of mind, just leave them in the comments below and I'll get straight to them, because I know it can kind of be like a confusing topic and you may not, know what it looks like for you. So if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments below. Making action. Okay, so this is probably one of the most important steps. Actually, I guess it's most important steps when it comes to keeping at your goal and like consistency, and actually being able to, when you implement habits and goals, you want to be consistent, because that is what's going to get you results. So this is the most important steps if you're wanting results. So to start, yes, visualization, all of them are so important because that gets you in that momentum and that's when you start. But if you want results, making action is the important thing, because the action is what's going to create the habit, and the habit is what's going to create the consistency. And then again, that just feeds the result pattern. So with making action, that's what majority of people struggle with. And usually the main reason why people struggle with making action is, how do I spell analyzing? Guys, phone a friend, hang on 2 secs. Siri, how do I spell analyzing? That was close. Or, we've all been there, we've all done it.
Just triple zeros.
The triple zeros, fully.
Triple O's, yeah.
Like I literally I didn't like very minimal planning when I talk about this stuff. This is myself just getting in a flow state because I have been there, done that. So I'm literally just talking from experience here. And when I don't make action, it's because I'm overthinking, overanalyzing, and overcomplicating things, okay? So something that I live by, boom, less thinking, more doing. So this is something that I've applied at early stages of my life, and this is why I could become a YouTuber. I'd constantly get people ask, like, how could you start filming yourself? How did you, get over the embarrassment? I just started. I didn't think about what people were going to think of me. I didn't really even bother about the equipment I was using. I started recording myself on my iPhone and on my boyfriend's webcam. And I just knew as soon as I start, at least I'm, making that momentum and I'm getting myself in the door. And my first YouTube videos are crap. They're embarrassing, like the sound quality is awful, the quality of the actual videos are awful. I was awkward in front of the camera, but I still did it. So by making action, that's where you're going to learn. And when you learn, that's when you get better. So when you have goals, when you want to, achieve something, when you want to get better at something, it's all about making the action. And the reason why we don't make the action is because we overthink and we overanalyze or we overcomplicate. Oh, in order for me to do this, I have to do this and this and this and this. So if you start to move now and think later, I promise you everything just falls into place. So these are just examples and tips that work for me. I'm not saying you have to live like this. I'm just sharing with you guys what works for me. So I know there's going to be a lot of people being like, no, but you have to think about the consequences and this and this and this. Yes, being realistic, 100%, we all know that, but that just comes down to common sense. So when when you're applying less thinking and more doing, I'm not saying chuck your common sense out the window. You got to continue to have common sense and thinking straight, but also not overthinking and not overanalyzing. So again, I'm just sharing the tips that work for me. So another thing that really helps me with making action is scheduling it in. So you guys know I'm notorious for constantly making calendars, to-do lists, and scheduling my entire day. It's because it works. I know it's a simple task. It's really underrated, scheduling and calendar. So calendaring. Let's just calendar in. Anyway, so what I use is Google Calendar. So Google Calendar, it's literally free. It's from Google. And why it's really good is because you can do it on your laptop, but then you can also connect your account so then you can get notifications on your phone. So I'm someone who I'm really, really forgetful, and that is my weakness. So when it comes down to my personal goals, I love to make habits and do things that are going to help me and my memory, because that's what I lack at. So again, I'm aware of my weakness, so then I can use that for my strength and get better at it. And that's another thing that's really good about acknowledging your weaknesses, is because once you've acknowledged them and you challenge yourself, it then becomes your strength. So for me, memory. And that's why Google Calendar is really good, because it can pop up notifications on my phone. So give your mind clarity. Burn the boat, say, I'm going to start this day. Schedule it in. Once it's in writing, I promise you it does things. You yourself accountable and you feel let down if you miss it. So I'm someone who, if there's something in my calendar, it's already done. If we have lunch on Thursday at 2 p.m., we have lunch on Thursday 2 p.m. no matter what. It's in my calendar. So that's why it's something that I live by, and it's something that works for me. So maybe it is something that works for you, and I definitely do recommend giving it a go, seeing if it works for you, scheduling in and popping in your yearly calendar. So your 2020 calendar, pop in when you're going to start every one of these goals and be specific with it. So the time that you're going to do it on Thursday, what you're going to do beforehand, give your mind clarity. So moving on to consistency, so sticking towards your goal. So having goals is good, starting is good, but again, if you want results, action and consistency is better. So with consistency, it's definitely something that isn't my weakness, and it's because I'm a creature of habit. I love making good habits, and having the habits is what's going to keep you consistent, because we naturally as humans, we run off our habits. We are literally what we do on a day-to-day basis is 70% habits. So if you make good habits, if you have your goals and you're making habits towards getting closer to them goals, that's you being consistent. So if this is something that you struggle with, get rid of.
I know this one.
Yeah, you do.
Is it attitude?
Uh-huh.
This is definitely something I struggle with personally.
This is me. This is me, and I bet you that's probably a majority of you out there as well. Mm-hmm. I have the biggest all or nothing attitude. But since working with Christy,
I gotta out of your head.
she's been like that. Like I try to go to the gym.
Okay,
and
so what
crazy.
all my friends do. So literally, it's the most common thing. And if there's an athlete or if there's a successful millionaire, this is something they definitely do not have. It's usually when people are starting diets and they're trying to eat healthier, it's the people that have the all or nothing attitude that fall off the wagon. So when people are starting to eat healthy, or they're starting a new job, or they're starting a new habit, they'll go hard. So they'll go super hard at it. For example, eating healthy, they'll only drink water. They'll only have salads. They'll have protein. They'll exercise every single day, and it's extraneous workouts. So Toby said to me the other day, he loves soft drink, okay? And he's been, having crashes because of the soft drink. And he goes, okay, all I'm drinking is water. And he'll get in his phase where he'll just drink water and he'll quit out like caffeine, or people will quit out like all drinks altogether and they'll just have salads. If you're doing that, it's not like it's a shock for your mind. It's a shock for your body. Rather than having that all or nothing attitude, it's a gradual process. So rather than having, Coca-Cola, have Coke Zero, or have, swap it. Still have caffeine. Like, you don't need to cut everything out. It's same as exercise. If you don't exercise whatsoever, I wouldn't recommend going to the gym 6 days a week. I'd recommend starting going for walks, going for runs, not having that all or nothing attitude, because when it comes to living a happy, healthy, successful life, you want to make it sustainable. So I find when a lot of people are actually telling me their goals, I'm someone who I love to become aware of people's habits, people's body language, and the way they talk about things. So people who I know, for example, I'm not pointing fingers or anything like that. I'm not even saying it's you, Toby, but I'm just saying when people plan goals and, they're making New Year's resolution or New Year's goals, the way that they actually talk about it, it's kind of like it's like a F45 12-week challenge, that there's an end to it. But when you're, making goals for a successful lifestyle, there shouldn't be an end. So you shouldn't say, okay, cool, I'm going to go hard and then at the end of it just go back to my normal routines. You want to be making this a gradual process with your goals, so it's not a shock to the body and so you stick to it. So when it's eating healthier, when it's changing up your career, when it's doing something that is going to be a drastic change, you just want to chip away at it. So don't have that all or nothing attitude, because you will 100% fall off the wagon. So another thing that can help with consistency, if you're trying to stop drinking on the weekend, or you're trying to eat healthier, but you're blaming your friends, so you're saying, okay, my friends go out drinking, so they're the reason why I go out drinking. My friends don't eat healthy, or my partner doesn't eat healthy, so he's the reason why I'm not eating healthy. By doing that, you're not going to stay consistent, because you're not keeping yourself accountable. When you're doing this for you, and you're the person who started because of you, you'll be the person who will continue and stay to it. But if you're starting because you're waiting for everyone else to start, or you're waiting for everyone around you to do what you should be doing, then that's not going to keep you consistent. So keeping yourself accountable, finding your why. So your why is also super important. So why you're doing this, why did you start? Our why is also going to help create motivation. So with motivation, it doesn't just pop out of nowhere. A lot of people wait for our motivation to just occur. But motivation comes through movement and action. So when we find out our why and we are keeping ourselves accountable, that is going to motivate us, because we're already making movement. It's going to motivate us, and that motivation is going to keep us consistent. And consistency is where we're going to find results. So I hope this all makes sense. I know it's a lot to take in, so hence why I've just wrote it on a whiteboard, so you can just kind of go back, suss out what really resonates with you. And I hope that you guys do either download these printables or do it online, or whatever you want to do, because that's how I learned, and I know a lot of people are similar. And if you do end up using these printables, make sure you post them, you tag me, or you let me know, even just send them towards me, because it really makes my day. If you have any questions or anything like that, guys, just let me know in the comments below. But this is all for the video. I don't want to overwhelm you. And yeah, get started on your vision boards. Make sure you tag me on that, because honestly, Toby and I had so much fun. Look, I'm probably not going to hang it up in my living room, but it's going somewhere where I can see it every single day, whether it's in my bedroom, whether it's in my cupboard. But I will keep you guys updated with that. Anyway, if you want more videos like this, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in my next video.
DJ Taj, let's get it. Suicide if you're ever gonna let me know. Yeah, suicide if you ever try to let go.